Monday, November 12th lesson, devotional reading, will be coming from Matthew chapter 22, verses 34 through 40. Matthew 22, verses 34 through 40. It reads as follows. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Thus in the reading of his holy word. May God have a blessing to his word for the edification of our soul. Our lesson today, our printed text will be coming from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 8 through 13, and the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 8 through 10. Our subject today is the greatest gift. And I will end right there and turn it over to Brother Young as our teacher today.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to those watching by Facebook, YouTube, or otherwise, and Chapel Chapel. I thank God, as always, for this opportunity. Pastor Young and Brother Franklin, who's always delegating stuff for people to do. I am honored to be able to do this. The lesson, the greatest gift. And Brother Robert will do just like you. We don't write these lessons, but sometimes they start all the way at the end and in the middle and want us to put it together. So I'm going to do like you today. I'm going to go all the way back. And I'm going to do just like you. I'm going to follow your pattern. We are so in a dispensation where at this church and in other churches that we got a multitude of teachers that's on one accord, but we don't study together. So God got this thread running through us that we always talking about the same. Brother Franklin said that it's all about Jesus. Brother Robert always said it's all about Jesus. And I recognize and realize that it's all about Jesus. The greatest gift was subtitled with freedom to love. If you remember, during next month, we got this season come up where we talk about gifts and stuff, and really go back to God gave, in John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave his son the gift. But he gave us this gift, and that gift is the ability to love. He gave us the ability to love. When the Corinthian church, Pastor Young, did I honor him? I did. He frowned up. I don't know, make sure. Okay. When the early church started and God set the church on fire, he gave them abilities, gifts, and abilities to do things. And it was for to edify the church. And as usual, us being human, we grabbed on some of the aspects that we liked about it. Then the church had grabbed on the gifts. Gifts. Like God gave some apostles and some teachers and some this, and the tongues and being able to discern. Well, people had grabbed onto that, but they skipped one or they ignored one, and that was the gift to love. The gift to love, the ability to love. Now I'm talking about right love. It's all kinds of love. When I'm talking about that, yeah, but yeah.
A good Christian love.
Yeah.
Good Christian love.
Good Christian love. Godly love. You know, have we ever realized that God loves us no matter? It's unconditional love. He don't love our sin. I'm not saying that. But he reigned on the just. He reigned on the unjust just like he do. He offered it to everybody. It's up to us whether we accept it. But this ability to love came directly from here. We know about mother's love. We know about the love of money that the pastor was teaching on. That love thing, but I'm talking about that central love. But the Bible says God is love. So in order for us to be like him, we have to love. God is made out of love. His essential being is love. So when he said way back in the beginning, let us make man in our image, it gave us the ability to do what he do. It's love. Since he made out of love, and we're supposed to be his children, I'm going to get into that, but he gave us the ability to become his son, we too have the ability to love. So, out of all those gifts we had, he gave us, that gift right there, I don't know why or how it got lessons, but then Paul brought it back. I'm going to go all the way back to verse 1 in chapter 13, which the lesson comes from. And then Brother Art said this all the time. Then I'm going to get to the lesson. I like that because they don't use what you did. Paul said in 13, if you got your Bible, you're going to go on with me. Chapter 13, verse 1. Though I speak with the tongues of men, though God give me the ability and the knowledge to be able to speak to everybody in their language, to be able to talk to everybody, he said, even though I can talk like an angel, even though I can talk just like them, but I don't have no charity. Charity in this book, or in this letter, is translated as love. Even though I can do all that, I can talk all the language of any men, I can talk just like the angel, but if I don't love, I'm like a cymbal. I'm like a sounding brass, I'm like a tinkling cymbal. Yesterday, my grandbaby came down with me, and he was over there, and I let him beat on the drum, and he was hitting on the cymbal, and it gave me an idea because I knew I had to do this. Bro, me and the musicians over there, one of us separate, Robert, me, ding, 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 or Kenny, all that is noise until we come into harmony. And then the singers start singing on the harmony that we playing, and that playing becomes music. Take the word music and take it out and make love. When we all come together and quit doing our stuff and become in harmony, and that harmony becomes love.
All right.
Y'all seen that, didn't
Yes, sir.
you? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If it don't come together, it's just noise.
Yes, sir.
It don't even make no sense. So that's what he was trying to tell him. He said, it comes, and even though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, he said all of them. And even though I have all faith, so that I could move mountains. You know, Brother Frank knows my pet peeve. If God told us that if we have enough faith, we can say to this mountain, be cast in the sea, but we want to change it and say, Lord, you ain't got to move the mountain, just give me strength to climb. He didn't want you to climb it. He didn't want you to be wore out. He wanted you to do what he said and have that faith. But even though I got all that I could do that. Brother Joe, we need prayer. We got a sick one. We got a sick person. We got all that call. He got faith. He can do it. But even though I have all that, if I don't love you, I ain't nothing. It's a waste of time. Even though you can do all those things, if you have not charity, I am nothing. That's what he said. If you don't have that core, if it don't come together, I said take the word harmony and the music and turn it to love. Once it comes together, if you don't have nothing. In verse 3, although I bestow all my goods and feed the poor, that's what we talk about. for the poor, which that sounds good. If I give everything I got, you was talking about what Jesus told, you had one thing, yeah, take all your food and everything you got and give it to the poor. If I don't love the person I'm doing it for, or the reason why I'm doing it, or the lover that told me to do that, ain't nothing. He just wastes time. I'm just putting on a show.
Right. Okay, I'm finna say, I leave now. I was reading that and I said, I'm giving all this to the poor and helping folks, and they gonna tell me.
Yeah, for a split millisecond in humanity and in spiritism, I got my reward because I tried to make myself look good. It went by so fast that didn't nobody see it. To me, I made myself look good. They say a thing on TV about a legend in his own mind. I really thought I'd done something. But I didn't love. I just did it because I wanted to look good. If I did all the things, I gave everything I had to the poor, but if I didn't love, okay, why would you do that? You must love somebody. You did all that. It's behind the reasoning behind what you did. This just come to my mind. This boy sitting up in heaven. He seen everything God could do. He was beautiful, the Bible said. He had on all his jewelry, and he was right up there. But then when he said, you know what I can do? Since I got all this popularity, I can make my throne higher than the Most High. His reasoning was wrong. He got thrown out. When we on earth sit here and don't love, now, giving and prophesying and preaching and all that come from God, but he gave us ability. He gave us a ability. An ability is to love. Pastor Young preaches to us because he loves us and he don't want us to go to hell. I'm pretty sure that he know he didn't want me to go. He ain't got to worry about it. I don't want to go neither. But he loved Brother O.T., Brother Franklin T., and I teach because I love and I be obedient. As mean, as rotten as I am, he picked me to do this. It took Betty, now Bertha, and Aunt Kate to say, you know what, you can teach. Reverend Tatum reached in the orders and picked me out. It's Brother always talking about being on front of this camera. I don't want to be on this camera, but I want to be obedient. Because I love God. So that thread is again. Love. He gave me the ability to love. So I overcome what I don't want to do because I love God. I want you to, Brother, you said, I want you to see this now. Love is the thread that's tugging on this situation. He gave us the ability to love. Brother Caleb Carter back there, he talked about how he was and what he did. You said it, I didn't say it. How God picked him and he decided to love God enough to be obedient. That was their ability. That love string run through a whole lot of things. Sister Young said back there behind her husband, she loved her husband. You love to do this. Yeah, that's an ability. But with that main stream, that main river, that harmony, that music come from God. He gave us the ability to do that. So, in verse 4, he said, in verse 4, love suffereth long, means love is eternal. We are, maybe, I'm not a theologian, I'm not a scientist. We are 6,000 or 7,000 years into this thing. This mean, you know, from the day that God said let there be and all that kind of stuff. We don't know. But I'm saying we're 2,000 above when Jesus walked this earth, but we still have people getting saved because love is still abiding. Love didn't go nowhere. The gift is still here. We still have the ability to love. Okay, love suffering long is kind, charity, envious, not envious not. Charity don't want what somebody else got. Charity don't lift itself up. It vaunteth not itself, and is not puffed up. It ain't so proud if he don't get his way. God is absolute, but he ain't puffed up because he don't get his way. Because if he don't get his way, there ain't no way. He don't have to be puffed up. Love is what it is. God said, I am that I am. He didn't say, I'm who I am. I'm that I am. When they ask you, tell them, I am. I'm just it. Love is that thread that we got running through us because we're supposed to be healed. And some of us are. Why do you say that? Jesus told some of the, you was talking about the Pharisees, Jesus told some of the, you of your father the devil. If you knew me, you knew God. You know God. God's children know him. My sheep know my voice. If you are his sheep, you get that thread running through you. You're making that harmony. You're making that music. And it's called love. You got the ability to do that. Okay? Love do not behave itself unseemly. Seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil. Where our God is, when we get to the final destination, Brother Lord, don't want to be no evil because evil. God don't even know nothing about no evil. He didn't invent evil. He used evil. Evil came from one of his predecessors, but he don't know evil. He know no sin. Verse 6, rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Verse 7, bear all things, believe all things, hope all things, and endure all things. That's what love do. Love believe all things. That all things means that everything God said, everything God believe for, everything God stand for, love believe it. Why were there commandments? Commandments, which we call the 10 Commandments, which there was more, but commandment was to show us that we were wrong. You don't know you're speeding unless the thing said don't speed. You don't know that 80 right out there. You don't know 85 miles per hour is speeding if the sign didn't say 65. That's the way the law is. The law pointed out that if we do some of these things, if we did them things, we was wrong. But guess what love gonna do? Love, it ain't gonna cancel out the law. It's gonna fulfill it. If you're walking, and I don't know nobody can do it. He said walk in the spirit. If you're walking down 65, you ain't gonna be doing 65. That didn't make sense, did it? If you walking out there on the interstate, the police ain't got to worry about you coming through there doing 100. You ain't gonna be breaking that law. If you use the same principle and you walk in the spirit, you fulfill the law. Because you got love. Now, we get to the lesson. The lesson starts with verse 8. Charity, which is interpreted love, never fails. Meaning it never makes a mistake. It never quit. It will hold up. When I worked at a tire factory, we had a machine that tests out every tire, but if you bought a Goodyear tire, test out every tire that's on your car. And it put it through some stuff. It put it through some, overflated, inflated it. It got it hot. It wobbled it back and forward. It grind on it, get it out of line. It did all this stuff. But when the tire blowed out, guess what it broke off the screen? Fail. It didn't make it. Love never fails. Love is able to take us where God intended for us to go here on earth and when we get there. Love is just that strong. Love is just that eternal, that it can hold up no matter what, because it's made out of God. God made out of love, love made out of him. It's all one and the same. Love never fails, but whether there be prophecy, they should fail. Prophet Parham, if he able to tell you what's going to happen in the future according to the Bible, after a while he ain't going to have to tell you. There will be no need for prophecy. We're going to see that later on. Prophecies going to stop. They're going to fail. And on this earthly thing, God said, woe unto you. He said there was prophecy and there was prophet. He even made prophecy. He even had prophecy. They did what they supposed to do. They told it how it's going to be. They told it how it's going to be at the end. They told it how it's going to be now. There were prophets that would prophesy something, and if it didn't come true, you was a false prophet. It's going to come a time there'll be no need for prophecy. So that means prophecy, the idea of prophecy, going to fail. It won't be no need for it when it comes to tongues. And this tongue actually do mean languages. Everybody gonna know the same thing. They don't need no need of tongues. Don't need that gift. They shall see whether it be knowledge. Knowledge is essential. You must know what God wants for you, the will of God and everything, but it also gonna vanish away. Why? There's gonna come a time when you gonna know, when you're in the presence of God, you gonna know, and that's it. He gonna change your whole being that you shall know. And I'm getting ahead of myself, brother, because he said we're gonna be just like him. He's going to make us, he's going to change us that we'll be just like him. We'll know all the mysteries, the godly mysteries that we want to know. We ain't got to worry about who shot JR. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, okay, I'm sorry. We're going to know how in the world that he walked on that water. I can imagine he walked on the water because he made it so he knows where to step at. But we're going to know how he did this, how we did this, what our loved one went through or what we didn't do, how God had wiped the tears from our eyes. We're going to know all of that. We'll have the knowledge because he's going to make us that way. When he said, hope for all things, I asked one of my children years ago, I said, how many of y'all going to heaven? And I had several of them said, hold their hand up. I had some do like this. I had one that really concerned me. So she said, I hope I do. So, of course, I went in and Lord, tell me what to say, because she was there. She was sincere. And she said, I want to go, but I hope I make it. I said, so you know about Jesus? And you're, yeah. So you don't think he can take you? You don't think he can do what he said he can do? She said, yeah. I said, there your hope is. Your hope is in him. You don't hope you go when your hope is in him. There your hope is. If he say you're going, and you do what he say to go, you know he can take you. Your hope is in him, so you hope all things, and all the things you hope for are in him. Charity never fail, prophecy, tongue, they shall see, for the knowledge they shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. We know just a little bit. Brother I know just a little bit. Brother Pam knows just a little bit. Neither one of the Bible said that no scripture is into any private interpretation. If I get up here and tell you something that don't nobody else know but me, I'm lying. And Kate, I figured that out years ago. If God give me something that don't nobody else know or ain't nobody else know but me, you might well get all the other Bibles and write it in there, because it says the Bible is to no private interpretation. So we know in part, we get by a little bit. When we see these things, not because nothing that God did, it was our ability. We ain't able to know everything. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we know in parts, we prophesy in parts, and all that in parts. Paul setting up a contrast because the Corinth church was so blessed, they had a combination of all these gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But what the problem was, and you already hit on, talking about love. One thought that my gift was superior to the other.
No,
Yeah. No. So my gift of tongues is superior to yours, Jeff. You can prophesy, but you can't speak in tongues, so I'm above you. So they had this, and Paul, he said a contrast. What is profit all that if you don't have love?
no, that's right.
That was the argument in this Corinth church. They were just a blessed church. Jackson Chapel is a blessed church. I hope we don't get the big head about our gifts. You know, some of us think he said, you just know in parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when that which is perfect is come.
Pastor Young, he really do. I try not to pay him no attention because I don't want to be saying nothing wrong. Sometimes he'll frown up and he'll get his Bible, start looking for stuff. And I started learning. I learned later on that I done hit on something he was thinking about, so he just going over there looking at it and everything. And he's a dynamite. He's a dynamite pastor. He's a dynamite preacher. And I'm using him because people know what I'm saying. Even he don't know everything. He don't. And we trust him. We trust him with our soul, but he don't know everything. But we got a gift to take our cymbal and take our drum, take our keyboard, take our claps, and take our voice, and it becomes harmony, and God put that string in it, and that harmony becomes a song, which in my case now I'm demonstrating is love. You take your gift of prophecy, edify the church with it, build the church up with it, the tongue, build the church up with it, and the knowledge on what to do, and build the church up with it, and become love, just like the person that created the church. It becomes love. And even one of our gifts is more important than the other one. It's when it's all together and when it's perfect. When all these gifts come together. In the early church being started, we're going to get to it, they just immature as they could be. They was elementary school. We know in part we prophesy, but when that which is perfect is come, that which is in part shall be done away with. What is that which perfect is come? When salvation show up fully. We saved, and when salvation get here and shut everything down, all that part shall be done away with. Where he gonna clap perfection on us, we'll be complete. We'll know like we supposed to know. We'll be what we supposed to be. We'll be who we are supposed to be, because we'll be like him. But that which perfect is come, which is Jesus, then that which is in part shall be done away with. Verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. When my 6-year-old was sitting down here the other day, sitting there, he said, Dad, he called me Dad, how come this and how come that? And I told him I didn't feel good just a few days before that. Granddad don't feel good. He said, "Oh, you finna go to heaven?" I said, "No, boy." No, not right now. But in his little mind, he knows sickness can lead to us leaving here. And in his mind, when he asks questions, it be sincere questions, he don't understand. Just like the other church, the early church, like you said, they really didn't understand because they was children. The church was a child. So they thought like a child thing. They asked questions and they looked for stuff and they did it like a child. Paul took this and tried to illustrate it in a way we should know. Y'all got young children, or raised young children, got grandchildren, how they can ask questions. Me and my brother was riding together, going looking for a place to fix the transmission. And I had my son, that boy's dad was sitting in the car. He was sitting in between us, and we got lost. Now, I told this before. He was sitting in the middle, had his little toy, just driving. I mean, playing. We driving, we done missed 2 or 3 turn-offs and everything. So we was talking about getting lost and everything. So he just opened up and said, God ain't gonna let us get lost. But why, boy? He said, because we God toys. He said, what God gonna do is take us back and put us in the toy box. And Robert said, I gotta get around this boy. This boy's gonna stop preaching. It was so sincere that I thought about this when I got to this part. It's the way he said it. You know, that's the way he's seen stuff. He's seen it like a child sees it. The way the early churches, we seen it like a child. We didn't really know how to say it, but we seen it. And Paul said, but I understood as a child and I thought as a child. We think, they ain't saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's elementary. The stuff that we do, the stuff that we think about, the picking one side over the other, picking my preacher is Paul and my preacher is Apollos. And they got to tell them, wait, y'all wrong, but we following Jesus. You need to follow me as I follow Christ. Don't just follow me. So we think, he said, they think like it's Paul explained to them, I thought like a child, you know, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. When Jeremy grew up, he didn't think that way. He knew where his help come from. When he was building his home, he come and sit with me and his mother, and things wasn't going right. And his mother told him, son, you need to pray. And he went and prayed, and things come out. His daddy, he did it. I said, well, who? He said, I prayed. Because he knew where his help come from. He knew what he needed to do. He may not understand like you, Brother Orr. He might not understand the gospel like you do. But he don't think that way no more. He know the toy box. He know who owns the toy box. He don't even say toy box. He say God himself now. He know because he don't think that way. He think immature. The church, when the church grew up, when this church grew up, and we started grasping on the principle that in the Bible that God gave us, like today, when we grab onto the principle of love, the ability to love, the ability to love a person that done you wrong, the ability to love God in the way he said, love God with all your soul, heart, and mind. You got the ability to do that, he wouldn't say do it. Brother Orr said years ago, God didn't make us to be robots. He gave you the ability to do it. When he said, thou shalt not, or when he said, don't eat of that tree, when he said, love God, he said, you got the ability to do that, so you're going to have to do it. You got the ability to love, Brother Caleb, but you got to do it. He ain't going to just say, love. He made you a pre-moral agent and told you to do. When he said, be ye perfect, well, the perfect thing we don't jump up. We try to use his own words again in birth round. Nobody perfect. Well, we're going to use his own words again. Well, all that sin and fell short of your glory. That ain't what he meant. He meant use that ability I gave you. I gave you a gift, and in that gift, when you open it up, is a thing called love. Use what I gave you to love. Now, I want to say, I'm not talking about all love. We got corrupt love, we got the love of money, we got the love of perverted love, we got all that. But that still comes under the ability that he gave you for you to love. When we love God enough to say, your way is my way. Your principles are my principles. I can't think like you, but I want to do what you think about. I can't talk like you, but I want to say what you want me to say. I can't be like you, but I want to be. Did that make sense? That's when we decided to put all of ourselves and use that gift that he gave us and start making that harmony, and that harmony makes that music, and the music is called love. Now I put that part in there, but I'm trying to make it, when we take that noise, we take those other gifts, and we make that harmony, and we make that love. We love to be loved. We love to be loved. When I seen that girl, but yeah, I try to stay out of my character. Granny Kay told me to be. I was sitting on the porch getting my hair braided when I had braids. And she ain't here, so I can say it. When I seen that girl walk through there, that switch went off, that I had the ability to love. You know, I had that ability, and I used that ability to get her. I had that ability to love someone. Okay? We wanted to be loved back. Even if she didn't love me back, I still had to love. I didn't mean I had to love somebody else, but you don't stop because don't nobody love you back. You still got the ability to do it. Jesus said, remember, you didn't love me first, I loved you first. You didn't choose me, even though we chose him now, but I chose you first. God made a scenario, we use earthly things like, when we sing, we talk about trains and ships of Zions, and he made a scenario, Nadine, where if you believe on me, you got this ticket. It's free. Come get it. And when the train come through, when he come back in the cloud or that ship, if you got that ticket, which is red, you can get on the train or the ship and come where I'm at. All these are scenarios. But it's free. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and I'm going to pay the price for you. And all you got to do is go, you know how we go get a tag and you pull a ticket? You get this ticket and you get on that. That ticket is demonstrated by the love that he paid for us. It's free. All you got to do is get on this scenario and go where he is. But I also read that in the scriptures, he illustrated like a party. He said, go out there and tell everybody in the street that you see, I'm having a party for the groom and the bride and everybody, and y'all can come. Well, he went and invited some of his friends, and when they said, I got to do this, I got to do this. One of them said, I even got married myself, so I can't come. So the man that threw the party said, well, just go get everybody. Anybody that want to come, when they come, give them these clothes to put on, and they come back, and when they throw the party, when he came through, when they was having the party, he seen one of them. Now the clothes were free, Sister Young. All you got to do is put them on. Remember the clothes, remember the ticket. All you got to do is, it's free. Just get them. But you got to have on these clothes. He went through and seen one that had on his own clothes. What's wrong with him? He said he didn't want to put them on. Go get him, take him outdoors, throw him out there in the darkness. What is all they got to do with this lesson, Brother Young? Brother Young? God give us an ability to love, and he wants us to use it. What happens if we don't use it? We still think we're going? We still think we're going to be him when he looked, and it just said that love does not evil. There's no evil in love. And when you look and see that blemish or that spot, and it ain't healed, just like now, when you got the clothes, when you got sharp, you had a big Clorox spot right here, you throw that coat away. God got this thing that's just what he made out of it. But just like him, And when he pull that rope in and he see there ain't no love on it, he don't want that. That harmony is called love. And he give us the ability to do that. That's the lesson said, the greatest gift. The ability to love, the freedom to love. You got a right to love. I'm talking about right, but I'm talking about the righteous love now.
All the other stuff will come to an end.
Don't come to the end.
That love.
It's going to endure. Verse 12. For we see through a glass darkly. I heard you teach on this, brother Jeff, brother Farham. But then face to face, now I know in part, but then shall I be known, even I am known. It said back then that they didn't have mirrors like we have now with the glass and stuff. They had polished brass. It was real shiny. You could see reflecting, but it was distorted. It was dark. We see a representation of Jesus. We're supposed to see him in other people, but it ain't him. It's him, but it ain't him. It's him. It's a representative of him. We see it. We see it a little bit. When it's presented right, that's it. You walk different, but there's something about you. You say, I got Jesus. Okay, I can see that. I see what, but you ain't him. And Kate taught me when I was real young. I ain't gonna tell her age, but I was a baby. She taught me about Jesus. She told me about him, but I hadn't met him yet. Then I met him spiritually, but I ain't met him. Everybody looking at me. Okay. I try to lead. Okay. How many people in here know of Jed Clampton? You know him? Yeah. But have you ever met Jed Clampton? He don't exist. We met Jesus. He do exist, but we ain't seen him yet. We see him through that glass, through that mirror, the church we represent, and that is him. But one day we're going to stand in front of him. Then we're going to be just like him. I got that. I seen it myself. We're going to stand right in front of him face to face. Instantly. We'll know as we are known. The Bible says he did it. We didn't do it. He going to do it. He will make us just like him. He will be my oldest brother. And I will know him as I am known. Who is Wyatt Young Jr.? Y'all know it. The same principle get up there. I know your great-great-great-grandmother, Nadine. I ain't never seen her before. But I know her. We will have that ability that gave to us because of that love. Paul explained this gift will take us there, and it will help us change into what God had meant for us to be. I will know even also as I am known, and I am known. Now, about it, faith hanging around, faith still here, because he gave us faith. Invited hope, Jesus is our hope, and abided charity. Out of these three, the greatest of these is charity, which is translated love. It's the greatest gift. All of them, he said, teachers gonna cease, prophecy gonna cease, hope still around, faith gonna be still around. But at the end, there'll just be charity because it's the greatest. It's the greatest. Greater love have no man than this. That's the greatest love. A man lay down his life for his friend. He also said, by this shall everybody know that you my disciple. How would he know? How would people know that you are a disciple? Because I give all I can in the collection. Now, how do these people know that I'm a disciple? Because Reverend Young preach every day. Or I preach, or I teach every time I get a chance. No. By this shall men know that you are my disciples, if you have love toward one another. That's the key part, that we love. That's how men shall know that you are a disciple of Christ, because you love one another. In 1 John, I wrote down 1 John 3 and 1. 1 John 3 and 1, it says, behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Verse 2, beloved, now are ye the sons of God, and it doeth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he appeared, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. God said, for us, he gave us the power that if we believe on Jesus, that we could become the sons of God. We'll be made out of the same stuff that he is. What is that? Love. We will be made out of the same material. We will be made out of the same core principle. Love. He gave everything he had because he loved us. Jesus died being obedient because he loved us. Well, he gave us that ability. He didn't tell me and you, Brother Jeff, to hang on the cross. But he told us to love. He told us to love one another. That is a principle that we can't get away from. That's the principle that the church got to do. The church got to love a world that don't love it. And right now the world is in turmoil. I try not to talk about the orange president. I don't speak on the war in Israel because I'm going to stay in my place. But the conflict affects us more than we know it, because the world is in turmoil. And he said it's going to be, there shall be wars and there shall be rumors of wars. So we have to, as a church, try to save as many people, tell the message to as many people as we can, because the world is in turmoil. It's got flaws that's really showing up now. The evangelicals and us, and Brother Franklin and Brother Robert, like I said, we try to stay away from him, but it's weird. It's weird that all this is happening now, that a joker can have an opinion that affects millions of people. Not just 1 or 2 million. Jim Jones can have a few hundred. This orange joker got millions. It's like, I see it, Brother Caleb, I see it in my lifetime. When I'm going to get off subject again, I'm going to get through. When I see, we read about the children of Israel, see water on both sides, and they walk through on dry land, when they know them, and then they get on the other side, and a few weeks later, you know, we need us a God. Who just brought you out from over there? How can they forget so easy? We see it in our lifetime now, that one person can give millions of people a crazy idea. And we have to be careful to grab the gift that God meant for us to have and love the orange president, as orange as he is. Just keep loving him, keep praying for him. That's even in this scripture above in Romans, in the next book, about praying for our authority, praying for him that God will guide him through, because he's in control, even he in control of him, whether he knows it or not. So we got to keep this love. We got to use this love. We got to open up that ability to make that harmony, and that harmony turn to music, which I call love. For the church to grow, we got people They won't come back yet because of the plague. I call it plague and cake. But we got to be blessed. We got to be thinking about how blessed we are, because in the Old Testament, the plague lasts 7 years. We're going on our 4th year through it. I used to have we were teaching about idols and stuff. One of my former pastors, which pastored this church, came to my house and got me, and I'll thank him forever for doing that. Because I'm telling you, y'all had a musician, she was able to play. If the Pittsburgh Steelers was playing at 12 o'clock, y'all might sing out the fellow. Because I'm watching my Steelers play. He figured it out, and he came and showed me how I had made that my idol. I might not have made it my God yet, but I had put it over the position that he had put me in. I care more about that, and I'm being honest. I didn't know it at the time like I see it now. I care more about that than I do being on my post. Just doing what God told me to do. I wasn't the best musician in the world. And I asked you to be the best musician. I asked you to be for me. So Reverend Grissom pointed that out to me. And that thread, Sister Young, I didn't know what it was then. I loved before I knew what love was. I grabbed hold to it and I said, "You're right." And I let that go. Yeah, I still like them. I still do. I mean, I'm being honest. But I ain't going to put them before God. Matter of fact, he used it to show me. When we were teaching Bible study, I was sitting there in the midst of all these people. And I was sitting there, like Brother Pine said, I was sitting there thinking, what in the world can possess 79,000 people that they can all come sit together and act right? They got rules up on the board. You can't harass nobody. You can't throw nothing, talk to the referee. You can't do nothing. But everybody's sitting there, different colors, races, different, sitting together, acting right because of one thing. They love their team. If they didn't love their team, the other folks love their team. And everybody can sit there and bump up against each other and do all that kind of stuff. But we can't get 79,000 people in an auditorium. Y'all see it? We can't get 300 in here to be on one car, to love the team that's playing here, with the owner of the team that we talking about, and the coach of the team, Pastor Young, the coaching, the cheerleaders that over here saying amen. Because the world is just, I didn't mean to go off like that, bro. I'm good. But I seen that. I experienced that. It was a part of something I never forget, to see all that many people that can come together, but they can't come together for God. And it was at 12 o'clock too. When did we go to church? Between 11 and 1. So when we get that ability to use the ability, what God has given us to love, then we gonna see. Last one, and then I'm finished. I'm gonna do like, brother, that's all I got for you. In Romans, let's pick up in Romans chapter 13, this is chapter 13 too, right? Verse 8. This threw me for a loop till I started, yeah. When they say, "Oh no man, no nothing," how old a few people are. I know people got bills. Till I kept on reading. "Oh no man anything, but," that's what he switched it up there. People, it ain't mean for y'all to quit paying your house payment, don't pay their cell phone bill and everything. But to love one another. For he that loveth another fulfilleth the law. Remember when I told you, if you walking down the Interstate 65, the police ain't got to worry about you doing 100. If you walking in the Spirit of God, you ain't got to worry about the law. Because when you walking in the Spirit and you love one another, you fulfill the law. You don't necessarily done away with it. You can't break the law because you love. You don't fulfill, Jesus fulfilled the law. Jesus fulfilled the law simply because he loved the Father enough to be obedient to go to his death. Jesus loved us enough to die for us. Boom. He did what the scriptures that he read said, I love my Father, which is God, with all my heart, soul, and mind. Then I love my neighbor as myself. On these is the completion of the law. Verse 9. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. If there is any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, if you look in the 10 Commandments, he left off the part where he said, thou shalt not have no other for God, for him, and all that kind of stuff. If you love God, you ain't going to do all this stuff against him. But when it gets to this part, if I love you, Brother Jeff, I ain't going to commit adultery against you. I ain't going to steal from you. The Lord knows I ain't going to kill you. I don't want to, because me and you can get close, man. You ain't did nothing to me yet for me to throw you out the car. I don't want nothing you got. I mean, when I mean like that, I want the good part of you. I want your humbleness. I want your strength and everything, but I want it in a godly way. But I don't want to harm you because I love you. All the commandments, Jesus told the Pharisees, all the commandments are wrapped up in these two commandments. Love God, love your neighbor, and that fulfill the law. Love working no ill towards his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. I hope y'all got somebody on the round today. So I'm going to turn it back over to Brother Parham. Did you invite Mary for real?
She got some sickness.
Oh, okay. Thank y'all.
Thank Brother Wise for filling in. Brother Wise supposed to have been teaching the 5th Sunday. But you know that other God he had. He did. He told me, he said, well, I ain't gonna be there the 5th Sunday, so he made it up for today. Do we have a review from our children today? All right.
Our lesson was giving the gift of love.
Our 3 gifts are faith, love, and hope. Faith makes everything possible. Hope makes everything work. Love makes everything beautiful. Of the word is
The greatest of the 3.
the greatest of the 3. Love is the greatest. We learned that agape means God's love.
Amen.
But just remember, the greatest gift is love. That's no one in Jackson Chapel superior to the other. There's no gift superior over the other. But we all are here to equip the church. So you use your gift to help others. That's love. That's what it's all about. I wish somebody would talk to Brother Wide and Brother Orr when they're teaching. Just say something. But, you know, preachers, I'm going to say that now, I'm going to sit down. Pastor Young, he can take one word and he can just go. They can talk for hours. Brother Caleb, same way. They just got that gift. But me, I need some feedback. I be to run through a lesson so fast, but yeah, but don't be scared they need to say something. Just to comment on what the subject. Yeah, don't Diane. We heard the comment from her or what? But don't be afraid. There are no wrong answers. Yeah, just share with us. We are all in this thing together. We all learn together, we all grow together. That's what it's all about. Thank you, for that review. That's what the lesson's about. It's all about love. I give you a new commandment, yet it's not a new commandment, that you love one another. And that is to fulfill the love of God. Okay. Be dismissed by word of prayer. Loving God, thank you for giving us your unconditional love, the greatest gift to humanity. You have given us the capacity to share this greatest of gifts with others. Therefore, we commit to accepting the responsibility to share it and mature in loving you, our neighbor, and ourselves. In Jesus' name, we do pray. Amen.